Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new pick a card for you guys today, and today we are looking at the question of what messages your spirit baby wants to give you. And before I break down the piles and all that good information, I thought I would just fill you guys in on what exactly a spirit baby is, in case you're coming to this video and you just have no idea and you're like, what the hell is a spirit baby? Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. So I figured I would give just a quick little background on what a spirit baby is. And if you already know what a spirit baby is and you don't need like a refresher course in that or anything, I will leave a timestamp down below where I start the introduction of the piles, and you can just launch right into that. But if you don't know what a spirit baby is, I'll tell you what that is right now. Basically, what a spirit baby is, us as human beings, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So every single person on this planet has a spirit. We have a soul. Like we're a multi-dimensional type of being, basically. And before we're born, it's like we're in the heavens, we exist as a spirit, pretty much, we exist as a soul, and when we die, obviously, we exist as a spirit, we exist as a soul, and we move on from this planet and go to another place. So, it's kind of like Earth is just kind of like this temporary existence, in a sense, that we're in right now. So your spirit baby is basically like the child that you are meant to have in the future. So, if you're a woman, for example, and you want to become a mother, you feel that call, that urge of nature to have a baby, and you feel your clock ticking and all that kind of stuff. Chances are you have a spirit baby. Chances are you do have a child that's on the other side that is meant to come through on this earth. Before you, the viewer, were born, you were once a spirit baby to your mother until you were brought into this earth and you were born. So that's kind of what it is. But it's not like a one-size-fits-all thing. It's not just, a child that's meant to be born to you. Basically, you can tell if you are meant to have a spirit baby, or if you have a spirit baby, basically, if you do have a strong desire to have children. If you have a strong desire to have children, then yes, you do have a spirit baby, without a doubt. If you don't have the desire to have children, that doesn't mean you don't have a spirit baby. You could still have a spirit baby, and one of the ways you can tell is children and animals and that kind of thing, they'll just naturally be drawn to you. People may compliment you frequently saying, hey, you would make a really great mom, you would make a really great dad. They think that you're really great with kids. Like, they can see that interaction is just natural. And you may not want to have any kids, and you may not actually have any kids in this lifetime, but that doesn't mean that like a spirit baby, like a spirit child somewhere out there doesn't exist for you, considering that natural magnetism. But definitely you have one if you have the desire to have children. Another thing too is a lot of times spirit babies are connected to children who have been aborted or miscarriages. And I know, that's kind of like a taboo kind of area, and women can get very sensitive about that if they've had an abortion or they have had a miscarriage. There's a lot of disappointment, there's a lot of shame and that kind of stuff, which there never should be. But, if you are one of those people who had a miscarriage or you had an abortion, once again, that was still a life. And, things happened the way it happens. And, I can't explain each and every individual situation and circumstance that happens with that, but there is a divine plan, and that was still a soul, and that is still a spirit baby of yours. And who knows, if you're in that situation and you had an abortion or you had a miscarriage, these could be messages basically from that child that was lost pretty much, maybe to let you know that they're okay, maybe to let you know to not feel bad or to feel sad or to feel guilty or any of those kinds of things. But that's another example of a spirit baby. Sometimes spirit babies don't even come to us necessarily by actual birth, by traditional conception. Sometimes it can be a child through adoption, or maybe when you're older in life, you meet a young adult that needs somebody who is like a mother or a father figure to them, and you wind up being that parental figure to them later on in life. That's also like another spirit baby kind of connection. So, like I said, there are so many different examples of this. And obviously, this video is not dedicated to just explaining all about what spirit babies are. There are lots of videos here on YouTube to explain that a little bit more in depth and probably in a much better way than I am right now, because this is definitely just a quick little Reader's Digest version of it. But hopefully that explains it to you a little bit more as to what a spirit baby pretty much is, what that whole thing is all about, if you were wondering, if you were confused. So, if you're someone who has children already, then, I mean, your spirit babies are pretty much here and now, they're flesh and blood. But like I said, this is basically messages from them to just let you know. So anyways, that's the recap on that. So now I'm going to get into the pile introductions. So hello to the people who skipped to the pile introductions part. That's where we're up to speed at now. And really quick, before I do introduce these different piles, I just wanted to remind you guys that I am going live every Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I will be doing readings. So if you're interested in getting a reading done, stop on by. I would definitely love to have you and have you join in on that fun. It's a really good time. And I also am open and available for private readings. So if you have like a question or more than one question and you want to keep things like confidential or go into more detail, that's definitely where a private reading may come in handy for you. So information for the lives that are coming up, as well as private readings, all that information should be down below in the description. So, feel free to check that out. Reach out to me about any of those things, the lives, private readings, whatever. I'm here, I'm available. So there's that really quickly. And, also make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff before you bounce out of this video. That's always fun and cool too, to kind of grow the fam here on YouTube. And then, you also know when those lives and those new videos are coming out too. So that's always fun. But anyway, let's officially get into breaking down these piles I keep talking about, and then I get onto some other tangent. But I did want to fill you guys in just kind of on the general stuff with the lives and the private readings. And let's find out about your spirit babies and the messages they have for you. So this is basically going to be like whatever it is that they want to say to you, whatever it is that they want to know. So we're kind of leaving it open-ended. It could be, how they feel about you, or maybe they're going to describe a little bit about themselves and their own characteristics. So it's just open-ended. Whatever is meant to come through is meant to come through. So pile 1 is a rose quartz, a lovely little rose quartz crystal. Pile 2 is a lovely little labradorite, and you can totally see the reflection of the iPod in it, which is really funny because I record on an iPod Touch. I can totally see it. But anyways, here's the labradorite. Oh, and I meant to tell you guys too, in case you were curious about what the labradorite and what the rose quartz does. I know most of you guys already know this, but the rose quartz for pile 1, it definitely helps with love, attracting in love, self-love, and otherwise, and also helps with healing, dealing with that. As for labradorite, in case you were curious, it helps enhances your psychic abilities and intuition, and it's a really good protection type of stone. So this is definitely helpful for your intuition and psychic abilities. Pile number 3, continuing on now, I just wanted to mention those couple things really quick. I guess I'm a little scatterbrained, apparently. Pile number 3 is this beautiful pink tourmaline. And pink tourmaline helps with love and emotional healing. It also is really helpful for your feminine energy. So if you are a divine feminine watching this, pick up some pink tourmaline. It'll help you tap into that feminine energy better. And it helps heal old emotional wounds and repairs auric fields as well. And pile number 4, this is definitely a really cool looking crystal. It's not labradorite, even though it's kind of dark like it. And you can totally see like all these reflections in it right now from the lights and stuff. But this is orca agate. It kind of, reminds me of like a whale, kind of like Free Willy or something. And this also helps heal deep emotional wounds. It helps with outside and personal forgiveness. It aids in self-loathing and self-doubt. So, if you have problems trusting yourself, it's really good to get this. It will calm you. It will nurture you. It will ground you. And it's an overall good stone to help with your mind, body, spirit, soul, and emotions. So, for those reasons, I really like the orca agate. I never realized how much I was going to like this one until I got it, simply because I feel like it's kind of a super crystal. It does so much stuff. It's not even funny. So anyways, that one is pile number 4, the orca agate. So go ahead and pick whichever pile, whichever timestamp, whichever crystal, whatever seems to resonate with you the best. Timestamps are, of course, down below. And I apologize for this introduction for being so incredibly long, but I did want to kind of tap into what the whole spirit baby thing was all about. And now, without further ado, without further delay, we will now get into the rose quartz pile, pile number 1. Hi, pile 1. If you chose this lovely rose quartz crystal, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what messages your spirit baby has to say to you, or spirit babies for that matter. It could be more than one. I don't know. We're going to find out. But we're going to start off here with the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so if I do, I'm sorry. I knew I was going to sneeze. Oh, it was like stuck in my nose. Anyways, Crystal Unicorn Tarot, and let's see. Oh, sorry about that. I feel like I'm sneezing in your ear. Let's find out what your spirit baby has to say to you. Clearly, I'm human here because here I am just sneezing like crazy everywhere. Okay, you guys have the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. Okay, so so far what I'm getting from this group is I feel like your spirit baby looks at you like you are the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, she is super highly intuitive. She's very intuitive, and she's not a busybody. She doesn't get into everybody else's business, but because her intuition is so like to the nines, she knows everything that's going on with everyone, everywhere. She knows everything. even though she doesn't have to get involved with anything, you know, she's able to just kind of sit back and observe. She's very observant. She just knows. She just knows what's going on. And because she doesn't get involved to know these things, a lot of the times she comes off as very mysterious to other people, and other people can't really figure her out. She's kind of this enigma. But I feel like your spirit baby kind of sees you as the high priestess, because I feel like they kind of can sense that it's like when they come into your life, when they come into your world and you become a mother to this child, it's like you're going to know what they're up to and what they're doing, even if like they're not aware of it. You know, it's like if they were a teenager and they were to sneak out of the house, you would know. You would know what they're up to. You would know who they're out with. You would know what they're doing. You would know that they're getting into trouble, even if they think they're being sneaky and clever and getting away with it. You would know. So I feel like your spirit baby wants to tell you that they know that they know that you know that they know that you know that you know, kind of a thing. And not only that, but, you know, I feel like your spirit baby also wants to tell you to trust that intuition, because it is right. And if you have any doubts about like having a child or anything like that, you shouldn't, because you need to trust this intuition is what it comes down to, because this is going to win every single time, that intuition. So I definitely feel like your spirit baby wants to tell you that you are definitely the high priestess, which is a pretty cool position to be in anyway. And I feel like your spirit baby is kind of giving me a little bit of a scenario here as to how they might wind up coming into your life. So we have the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is about rushing in with some kind of truth, because, you know, swords are all about thoughts and ideas and basically a truth that someone wants to express. And I know for most of you guys, I know most of you guys are divine feminines and you're usually dealing with a divine masculine. And most of the time, we're sitting here waiting for that divine masculine to rush in with a truth. And I feel like your spirit baby is trying to tell you that one day someone is going to rush in and they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you how they really feel. They're going to tell you how much they truly love you and care about you. And the reason why I say love and care about you is because of this Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is a new beginning in love. It is a fresh new start in love. So I feel like someone's going to rush in and tell you about this. And once it's like they kind of confess that and things get off the ground between the two of you, you're going to enter into this season of having your 10 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Pentacles is ultimate fulfillment. It's happily ever after. It's having it all. And it's not just like emotional fulfillment, but it is like material fulfillment too. So that means success in your business. It means stability. It means security. It means everything being financially stable. So even if there are times that you worry and you get concerned and you're just like, well, you know, even if I was able to get it all together and everything with my person, you know, we can't financially support this. We can't financially bring in a child into this world. And I feel like your spirit baby is letting you know that you can, because that's what the 10 of Pentacles is. It's definitely about being able to provide financially, having those finances. So I feel like you will have those finances, that you will be able to provide for a child, that, you know, they're not going to have to like half-ass it through life because you didn't have enough to give them, that you're going to be able to help them in every way, shape, and form that they need to, that, you know, they'll have good clothes and they'll have, you know, warm lunches at school, and that, you know, they'll have all the school supplies that they need, and they'll have toys to play with, and you know, there'll be a little nest egg there for college, and all that good stuff that needs to happen when it comes to having kids. You have to be prepared for, but you'll be prepared. You're gonna have that, and I feel like your spirit baby is saying thank you. Like, thank you for being ready. Thank you for being prepared. Even if you don't feel like you are, you're going to be. It's gonna happen, and I feel like it's gonna happen because you know you need to be prepared. You know, you're not a dummy. Like, you understand these things. We also have some cards here from the Sacred Creators Oracle. And you guys have Raw Intention, Cut the Cords of Doubt, soul on fire, and bravely market your magic. So I feel like with this, your spirit baby is basically telling you that it knows how much your soul is on fire to have children, how much your soul is on fire to have a baby, to have a child. And I don't feel like this is just, having a child by adoption, or having a child like walk into your life later on that needs you or something. I feel like this is definitely like a, having a child by birth, that whole kind of thing. Like being the biological parent to this child. And I feel like that's something that sets your soul on fire, that you are so passionate about that's so incredibly important to you. And I feel like your child sees that and recognizes it. And just as much as you want that child wants to be born. That child wants to be in your life and wants to come in here and be a part of that, and wants you to be that mother, or wants you to be that father, whatever figure you would be to that child. But I feel like that child, their soul is on fire for you just as much as your soul is on fire for them. And that because of that, your intentions are good and your intentions are pure, and you have like these raw intentions, and that's a good thing. And you need to set those intentions. But when you set those intentions, you need to be very conscious and very careful that you're not setting them with self-defeat and with self-sabotage and doubt and all that kind of stuff. So cut the cords to doubt, because there may be times where you get scared and you get worried that it's just not going to happen for you. That maybe you're not going to meet the right person, or maybe you're, getting older and you feel your biological clock ticking and you're like, I'm running out of time. So, there could be a whole bunch of different reasons, but I definitely feel like, your child is telling you to drop that doubt, to drop the self-defeating talk, to drop the self-sabotage, because the more you hang on to that, the further it pushes them away, and the further it pushes away that from happening. So you gotta set those intentions that you're going to bring this child into this world, but without doubt, and instead bravely market your magic. And I know it sounds weird, because it sounds more like that's like a business kind of thing, but this isn't about business. This is about replacing the doubt with being brave and being bold, and being excited about those possibilities, being excited in the magic that can come in this miracle of this child coming into your life, of being born, of being conceived, of all of that. So it's about, bravely putting that dream forth out there in the world and actually believing it. And, maybe you're in your 40s now or something, and you're just like, well, it still hasn't happened. As long as you're still having periods, and as long as they're regular, and you're not skipping stuff, and you don't have like endometriosis, you don't have PCOS, you don't have any of those problems, it's still possible. It can still happen for you. Hell, even if you do still have those problems, anything is possible. It could still happen. You never know. But bottom line is, be brave and be bold, to believe, to just believe, because that's going to have a much better chance for a payout than if you're already like putting your dreams and desires straight into the coffin right straight away with the doubt that you could be having. From the Ice Cream Oracle, you guys have Fig, abundance, fertility, and expansion. So once again, you guys, like I was just saying, maybe you're on the older side. Maybe you are already, maybe you're already going through menopause. Maybe this is going to be like a Father of the Bride Part 2 kind of situation, where you think you're going through menopause and instead you wind up pregnant or something. So, yeah, maybe, and even if you're younger, maybe you have other issues, like women issues that you think are going to prevent you from having a kid, like PCOS or endometriosis or those kinds of things. And maybe doctors have told you it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Well, this is saying it's going to happen because it says abundance and fertility, 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 fertility. So, on some level, you are definitely fertile, and that baby can come. And I see abundance and expansion as like abundance and expansion of your family. So it's gonna happen. It's there. It's available to you. You got that in you. You have good luck, omens, or good omens, and luck and blessings with key lime pie, which I feel like just continues on with what we just had with Fig, with the abundance, fertility, and expansion. So you have favor on your side. You have blessings on your side. You have God on your side. So, just trust, just believe. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out. Don't listen to the self-defeating, self-sabotaging, negative thoughts. And I will say this much, like I can completely, like personally for myself, I can relate to this message right now, even for me, because I'm not exactly a spring chicken anymore. And I don't have any kids, and it's been my strongest desire of my heart to have them. And even if this message makes no sense for anybody else, and that's fine, I will take it for myself because, I'm saying right now it's resonating for me. But, maybe you're like me, maybe we have that in common, and maybe this is going to resonate for somebody else out there too. But you got to trust, you got to believe, because good luck, good omens, blessings, favor, abundance, fertility, it is on your side. It's definitely there. And you guys also have avocado, self-care, beauty, and healing. So sometimes, like if you're trying to get pregnant or whatever and it's not happening, sometimes the reason why it simply doesn't happen is because you're stressed out. And a prime example of this is my mom. So I'm an only child, and my mom had me when she was 37. And she got married when she was 30. So she was already a little bit on the older side for her generation, at least. That wouldn't be on the older side now, in nowadays terms, no. But back then, that was on the older side. And she tried. And, her and my dad, they tried and they tried and they tried for 7 years. And I didn't come until 7 years later. And she went to the doctor and she had tests done, and they told her nothing was wrong with her, that everything was perfectly fine. They couldn't find any reason why she couldn't get pregnant. But at the same time, my mom was working and she was also in school. And she was just stressed with life. She had stress going on in life. And then they went on vacation. And she got pregnant while they were on vacation. And she got pregnant because she was relaxed. She was doing self-care. She was taking care of herself. And when she was relaxed and not stressed out and not overwhelmed, boom, it happened out of nowhere. So yeah, sometimes you gotta leave that stress behind, and you gotta do a little bit of self-care. You gotta do a little bit of healing. You gotta maybe take a vacation like my mom did, and then that's when it usually happens. When we're not stressed out, when we're not focused on it, when we're just enjoying life. So do a little bit of self-care, and you never know, all of a sudden, you might get a little surprise that might come out of that. We also have a few cards here from the Divine Time Oracle. Just because I thought it might be fun to get a little bit of timing maybe related to these spirit babies, to maybe see when they might be coming around. So let's see what we got for you guys. We have freedom. Do you not see you are already free? So I feel like this card is basically saying do you not see this baby could be here tomorrow, basically. So it's kind of saying this spirit baby could become a physical, tangible baby in the 3D world here in a flash, in the blink of an eye, basically. So it's kind of saying like your spirit baby is basically saying, like, do you not see? I'm already here. I'm already with you. Like, I'm on my way. I'm coming into this world. But it's kind of like, I feel like you might be a little distracted with those fears and those doubts and the self-sabotaging kind of stuff, that you're just not aware of it. You're not seeing it. So, I feel like you guys just kind of need to turn a blind eye, if anything, to the negative talk, and then you'll suddenly realize, like, hey, yeah, this is available. This is totally, now I'm yawning all of a sudden. I go from sneezing to yawning. But this is totally available to you guys. So I feel like that's basically what they're trying to tell you here. You guys also got 515, fears realize, consciousness shift, change of mind. So I feel like this is in regards to, once again, those fears, those doubts, those insecurities, the self-sabotage, the self-defeating thoughts, all that kind of stuff. I feel like that's what this is talking about. Once again, you need to cut those cords. You need to drop that. Be done with it, basically, because I feel like the second you guys, like, officially let that go and turn it around, and you're just, like, done dancing around in, like, the club of self-pity, basically, it's just gonna happen, like, boom, out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden, like I said, your person will rush in with truth, a truth of brand new start in love with them. You guys will have your 10 of Pentacles, happily ever after, and then bam, before you know it, you're gonna be pregnant. Like, I feel like if you and your person are not together yet, I feel like pretty much like the second you guys figure it out and you guys get together, it's just like, boom, it's just going to happen. And I feel like neither of you are going to be thinking about it or planning it or anything, but it's just going to boom. It's just going to, like, magically happen out of absolutely nowhere. And I feel like if you are currently with your person and it hasn't happened yet, I feel like once those, fears are dropped, then boom, it's just going to happen. So, it's that negative stuff that really needs to go. And then we have 999, endings, cycles close, new beginnings. So once again, I feel like once you close out that negative, self-defeating, self-sabotage, just yuck kind of talk, that's going to be the ending of a karmic cycle in your life, and then there's going to be a new beginning in that, and in that new beginning is going to be that brand new life, which is going to be your spirit baby coming in from the heavens here down to earth to be with you and your counterpart, basically. So yeah, pretty cut, clear message, but I do feel like overall your spirit baby does love you, and they want to get here. They want to get here too. They love you, and they're excited to, start their life here on earth and have you as their parent and everything, and have them be your child. And, they're just waiting for you, basically, to cut the shit with the negativity stuff, and they'll be here just like that. So no more doubts, no more fears, no more worries. Start thinking about the possibilities, start getting excited about the fact that this can happen for you, because the potential is clearly there. I don't feel like you guys really have any other boundaries or any obstacles around you dealing with this other than the crap that's happening in your mind. So you overcome that, and this baby's going to be here like no tomorrow. Finally, you guys, I have a card here from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. And you guys got, ask and it shall be given to you. Or ask and it shall be given you. Well, either way. Matthew 7:7. So, and this is so funny, you guys, because look at this. We have Jesus and a child, like a little babe, basically. We have Jesus and a baby. So if this is what you want, ask for your child, ask for your spirit baby to come into, like, real life, real existence, basically. Ask for your child to come into the real world and he or she will be here. It will be given to you. It will happen. And the way that happens is through trust, through faith, through, thinking about the possibilities and the good stuff, not focusing on how it could go wrong. So stop focusing on how it could go wrong, focus on how it could go right, and you will see miracles just left and right blossoming and going nuts everywhere for you guys. So hopefully this message made sense and it resonated for somebody out there. If not for anybody else, I will gladly take this one for me. But anyways, hopefully it does. If the message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did make sense, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you, even if it's just through a simple, small emoji. And please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. And also so you guys know when I'm going live, because whenever I'm going live, you'll get the notification for that little ding, 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 you'll know, and then you can jump in and be a part of that, and that's always fun. So yeah, otherwise, I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys chose to stop on by, hang out here with me for a little bit today. If you're interested in a private reading, of course, hit me up for that too. I'm open and available for those as well. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose this lovely labradorite crystal, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what your spirit baby wants to say to you. Okay, we're going to start off with the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, and you guys got the Four of Swords, the Chariot, the Knight of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. All right, so here is what I can see so far going on with your spirit baby and what they want to say to you. So I feel like the first thing your spirit baby is trying to tell you is they're basically at rest right now. They are at rest. So yeah, the Four of Swords is basically about that. It's about relaxation. It's about resting. It's about like not overworking yourself. This unicorn, it's laying down on this bed and it looks pretty chill. It looks pretty relaxed. It's not, super stressed out or doing anything crazy. And it has its sword laying down here right in front of it. So it's laid its sword down. Its sword is at rest too. It's not like it's up and ready to fight or anything like that. So this unicorn is just taking a time out, taking a chill pill. So I feel like for you guys, your spirit baby is basically saying that to you right now, that they're just kind of hanging out. They're just chilling out. I feel like this may be a spirit baby that is not quite ready to be in the world yet. They will be. They will be ready to be in the world, but they're not quite ready yet. I feel like they're kind of just like in this nice little kind of incubation period where they're just hanging out, enjoying the heavens, just just kind of relaxing in a sense. And it's funny because I've been doing a lot of research on spirit babies myself lately, just to kind of understand it a little bit better for myself. And there was this one article that I read that kind of put it the perfect way about how life cycles out and that kind of thing. And it's like, imagine if existence was an amusement park, if it was like Disneyland or something. And it's like when we're on the ride itself is life. That's here and now with us living and being on this crazy ride. And especially if it's a roller coaster, I guess it explains why it can be scary as shit sometimes. But anyways, it's like being on a roller coaster pretty much. So, yeah, but there's other things going on in the amusement park too when we're not on the ride of life. So it's like when we're waiting in line, to get on the ride, that's kind of like the spirit baby phase of things. It's like you're in line, you're waiting to get on, but you're not born yet. You're not out there in the world yet. You're not on the ride yet. And the people who are just coming off of the ride are clearly people who have recently passed. And then you have all the people who are walking around the park. They're not in line to get on a ride. They're not on a ride and they didn't just get off a ride. They could be people who are shopping for merchandise, or they're getting some food, or maybe they decide to go to a show or something like that. And those are just people who are kind of just hanging out in the heavens in general. And, they're just not quite ready to, go back into the line of life, basically. So I feel like, your spirit baby may be kind of like that. They may be kind of just like walking around the park, grabbing a churro, Dole Whip or something, just kind of la-di-da, just kind of relaxing and enjoying their time. So they're not quite ready yet. They're not ripe yet. They're not just ready to get in that line and get on the ride. They're going to get there, but they're not quite ready yet. They're just kind of relaxing and enjoying the heavens that be where they are. However, I feel like once they are ready, once they make that decision, they are going to charge in, because that's what the Chariot is about. The Chariot is very much an action card. It is about forward movement. It's about beating out the competition. So once that kid makes up its mind to not be lazy, and who knows, maybe they'll be like this when they're actually born. Maybe they'll have moments where they're super lazy, and then there'll be other moments where they're like, forward march, go, charge, kind of a thing. But I do feel like once they make up their mind, there is no stopping them. They are coming, pretty much. And I feel like the Knight of Wands just kind of backs that up, because the Knight of Wands is once again another card of action. You can see the wind flowing in the mane of this unicorn's hair as well as its tail, and it's charging forward. And wands are usually symbolic of passion and fire and desire. So I feel like, basically once the fire is lit underneath this kid's ass, they move, they go. So they just got to get motivated is what it comes down to. So I do feel like that point will come. They will get motivated. The fire will be lit under their ass. They're just not quite there yet as of this moment. And with the Three of Pentacles, I feel like this is basically kind of like your family working together in the future, because the Three of Pentacles is about building and working together collectively as a collaboration. And if you notice, you have 3 unicorns here. Now, most of the time when I see this card, especially if it's like a love-related reading specifically, I usually see it as like, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and God. But considering we are talking specifically about spirit babies here, I feel like it's more so like you and your significant other, whoever you wind up having this child with, and your child. The 3 of you together, like a family unit, mother, father, baby kind of thing, and that you guys are going to work together. So, once this child does come into this world, this child isn't going to be like forever lazy and just blah, kind of like how they may be right now in the heavens. That they really are going to be a hard worker, and they're going to be happy to be a part of your family unit, and basically collaborate and work together as a family, pretty much. We also have some cards here from the Sacred Creators Oracle. And you guys got, and that's so funny, I was literally just talking about collaboration, you guys. We have collaboration of souls. So once again, I feel like your spirit baby is trying to tell you guys that that they are collaborating with you, and with whoever their father or mother is going to be, the other person involved. And this may not just involve like you and your significant other and them. It could also involve like other spirit babies too that, are going to be their brothers and sisters. This is, message from your spirit baby or babies. So it could be more than one coming through here saying, like, hey, we want to work together as a family unit, like all of us together, whether you have just one child or, 2, 3, whatever it is. But there is going to be this collaboration, this family effort. Where it's like working together in a family unit is going to be very important to you guys. So that's definitely a key thing that's happening here, because that collaboration came out again. We also have you are the light. So I feel like your spirit baby sees a lot of light, a lot of love, a lot of goodness inside of you. So they definitely see that you are someone who has so much unconditional love, such a big heart, such a warm heart, so much kindness to give. And that's probably why they chose you to be their parent, because they don't want to have an asshole basically as their parent. They want to have someone who's going to understand them and encourage them and support them and love them, and just kind of be this co-collaborator here when it comes to life. So they definitely see you as a light force to be reckoned with. We also have make a mission statement for your soul. So I feel like they're basically trying to tell you that if you haven't like necessarily put this out there in a prayer request yet, but it's something that is a desire in your heart, like let's say you do have the desire to be a mom or dad, and you've thought about it, but you haven't necessarily like gone to God about it in your prayers and said, hey, this really does mean a lot to me. Like maybe you feel silly for it, maybe like whatever the reason is, maybe you just haven't like fully put your heart out on the line yet in prayer and said, hey, I'd really like to be a parent, kind of a thing. And I feel like your spirit baby is telling you to be bold, make that mission statement, be bold and say it out loud in a prayer to God, and it just has to be between you and God. You don't have to like make it a public service announcement or something and like, blast it on social media or something. But the important thing is to just do it, to just like put it out there spiritually, put it out there in prayer. And I feel like if you kind of you light your own ass on fire in a sense, from that sense of the word, it'll help motivate your spirit baby from being just kind of like chill and relaxed to being like, oh, hey, it's time to get into that chariot and come into the world, because my parent has finally put that prayer out there in a petition to God and say, hey, this is a desire on my heart. I would really like this. You have not because you ask not, kind of a thing. So ask. If this is something that you want in your life, which I'm assuming you probably do, otherwise you probably wouldn't even be here listening to this reading right now, then put it out there. Put it out there into the world. And then we also have choose who you are becoming. So maybe another reason why your spirit baby isn't necessarily exactly ready yet to come into the world, but will come eventually, why they're kind of in chill mode right now, is because while they're chilling, you're still in the process of becoming who you're meant to be too. That, you do have this amazing possibility and this amazing potential to become a wonderful, fantastic parent, but you just may not be there yet. It's not to say that you wouldn't be, but there could be just maybe other things in life that maybe you have to do and accomplish first. Maybe you got to do some things with your job and career or money. Maybe there's just like personal development things within yourself you need to work on, maybe with your mind or your emotions or, whatever it is. But there may be certain things within yourself that kind of need to be worked through first, so you can, become more of who you're supposed to be first before that child comes into your life. It's kind of like if you were a cookie, for example, you may not be ready to come out of the oven just yet, which is funny because like a spirit baby would kind of be like a bun in the oven too. But yeah, it's kind of like you're a cookie. You're not fully ready yet. You're not completely baked. You're still pretty like doughy and you're a little bit too soft and that kind of thing. So you may need to get a little bit more crispness there, get a little bit more toasty, a little bit more warm until you're just right to come out of that oven. And then when you do, that child will get out of relaxation mode, get into its chariot, and come forward into the real world. So I feel like there's a little bit of preparation here that's kind of happening on your end too, which is why your kid is kind of just chilled out right now. But once you're ready, once you're in that place, I feel like that child is just gonna, come roaring in pretty much. We also have a few cards here from the Ice Cream Oracle, and you guys have candy loaded, social gatherings, celebrations, special events. So I do feel like when your child does come into your life, when this spirit baby does come into the physical, it's going to be a huge celebration. It's going to be a huge deal. So many people are going to be so incredibly happy for you and excited for you, and they're going to be so ready to meet this baby and to have this baby be a part of your family and your friends and their lives and everything. So it's going to be a huge celebration. And I feel like your kid is just going to, kind of be excited to live life and celebrate and have fun as a whole. Because, when I see something like candy loaded, like this ice cream, it even looks like the kind of ice cream that you might get at an amusement park. So who knows? Maybe your kid is going to be like a roller coaster fanatic or something, or someone who just, really likes going to amusement parks. Maybe they're going to love Six Flags. Maybe they're going to love Disneyland. Who knows? But I feel like you definitely have a spirit baby that probably has a lighthearted type of fun spirit that just likes to, kind of have fun and enjoy life. We also have grape, prophecies, spirits, magic, which I feel like basically this is saying that it's saying a couple things. It's saying, number one, that, what's coming through here dealing with this reading, it is information for you from kind of like a prophetic side. And we are talking about your spirit baby, and you got the word spirits here. But I feel like it's also saying to tap into your own intuition, because your own intuition is your own inner magic on the inside. And, pretty much all of this that's coming through, if this is resonating for you, if this is making sense for you, you're going to know. You're going to know this because you have your own sense of magic and intuition on the inside of you, because everybody has that ability. Everybody has the ability to prophesize. Everybody has the ability to have some kind of psychic ability. The thing is, it's a spiritual muscle. It's not something that you can flex on the outside like a bicep or something like that, but it's still a muscle. And the more you work it, the more you tap into it, the stronger it gets. No different than any other muscle on your body. So I do feel like you guys have that ability inside of you, and, check yourself with it. If this is lining up, if this is resonating for you, then, that's a lot of confirmation here for you that you need to know. And if it's not, then that's okay, because then you can figure out what does work, what does make sense for you. And you also have strawberry, immunity, vitality, and radiance. So I feel like your spirit baby is kind of recognizing these qualities inside of you, that you have so much vitality inside of you, and so much youth, and so much beauty, and you're so incredibly radiant. And if you have any worries about like not being able to bring a child into this world, you definitely do, because you kind of have like this beautiful, elegant, vital, radiant side to you that is, just ready to glow and beam in terms of motherhood. If you're, a female who's watching this, if you're a guy, then you're gonna glow as a dad, basically. You may be a DILF or something, who knows. I also got a few cards here for you guys from the Divine Time Oracle, just because I thought it might be helpful to get a little bit of timing information when it comes to these spirit babies, because I know for some of you guys, you'd kind of like to know, well, when am I going to have a baby? You know, when is this spirit baby going to come into the physical? So maybe these cards will give us a little bit of clarity when it comes to that. Okay, so you guys got, when the warm winds blow, that's when you'll know. So that's basically referencing summertime. So I take this as one of two things. Either number one, you may get pregnant during the summer, or you may wind up having a baby during the summer. One or the other. You know, it all depends on when that conception happens. So I feel like you'll either conceive in the summer or you'll give birth during the summer. So one of the two, especially considering it's saying when warm winds blow, that's when you'll know. I feel like you may discover that you're pregnant during the summer. So for most of you, I feel like this is more like conceive, but it could be giving birth as well. You never know. And we also have, is this a joke or is it a play? That's what you'll say on this crazy day. So I feel like when that pregnancy test does come back for you, when it does say positive, you're not going to believe it at first. You're going to be like, there's no way. Like, this did not just happen. Like, I am not pregnant right now. I feel like that's what you're going to say. You're just not going to believe it. You're going to be in shock. So, you know, this summer or whatever, when it happens, I feel like, or, you know, I don't know which summer it's going to happen, but whenever it happens, you're going to be in shock. You're just not going to believe it. You're going to be like, there's no way. Like, come on. You know, maybe you used a condom. Maybe you took every protection possible, and you're going to be like, well, how did this happen? It doesn't make any sense. You may go to the drugstore and buy up like a ton of pregnancy tests and take them over and over and over again just because you don't believe it. So I feel like you're really going to be in shock when it happens, and you're going to be like, there's just no way. Like, what? What just happened here? And then we also have, this is the year it will all be clear, New Year's. So New Year's, you know, just happened like almost 2 months ago, not that long ago. So I don't feel like this is necessarily in reference to, you know, the past New Year's, but I do feel like since we are still in a pretty fresh year, I feel like at some point during 2021, this is going to make sense for you because we are in a new year. And I feel like at some point in 2021, or whatever year you happen to be watching this, I do intend for most of my readings to be timeless. So if you're watching this in 2022, just apply it to 2022. You know, whatever year it is that you're in when you're watching this, I feel like this is going to make sense in this year. It may not make sense to you like in the moment when you're watching this, and you may be just like, I don't know how that's going to happen, especially with something like this coming through. Like, is this a joke? What? But it is going to make sense, even if it doesn't make any sense to you now. It is going to make sense to you guys within that year of when this all happens. And finally, from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. You guys got, your heavenly Father knoweth that you have need for all these things. Matthew 6:32. So I feel like this card is basically saying that, like, you do have this desire. You do have this desire on your heart to be a parent. If you didn't, like I said, I don't feel like you guys would be here sticking around watching a reading like this. I feel like for some of you guys, maybe you haven't necessarily made the petitions of your heart clear in prayer, basically, like fully admitting, like, hey, yeah, this is something that I really do want. This is something I really would like to have. But I feel like, you know, you can't pull a fast one on God. God probably already knows. He would just like to hear it from you, because you can't really do anything until, you know, you're the one to be just like, oh, yeah, hey, you know, I'd kind of like this. Kind of a thing. And it's really funny because we have Jesus sitting here with, you know, what looks to be like a young teenage girl, and in pile 1, it was really funny because it was Jesus and a child as well. So I think it's really cool that in each pile we are getting Jesus and, a child of some sort, at different ages and everything. So that's pretty cool. So who knows? You may wind up having, a gorgeous blonde girl or something down the line. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, I hope that this message resonated and made sense for you. If the message did not flow, of course, just let it go. And if it did make sense, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Even if it's just with a simple small emoji, it definitely goes a long way. And please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way, and so you also know when I'm going live, because every time I go live, you guys will get that little notification, ding, 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 that I'm going live, obviously, and then you can join in and be a part of the discussion and the conversation and get a reading done there. And of course, I'm open and available for private readings, as I said earlier too, so feel free to hit me up for one of those if you're interested. And I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful for you guys stopping by, hanging out here with me for a little bit today. It definitely warms my heart and means the world to me. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the pink tourmaline, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what your spirit baby would like to say to you, what messages they have. Okay, so we're going to start out here with the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, and we'll see what they have to say. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. All right, so starting off here with the Ten of Wands, I feel like, well, basically, the Ten of Wands is about carrying burdens. It's about carrying around a lot of stress, a lot of burdens, just kind of like the weight and pressures of life are just kind of like holding you down and weighing you down. It could be from responsibilities, it could be from anxieties, it could be from a lot of different things. So I feel like whoever it is that's watching this pile in particular, I feel like this kind of may be where you're at right now, where you're kind of just like, yeah, maybe you would like to have kids or whatever, but you have a lot going on in your world right now. You have a lot going on in your life, and it's kind of like maybe having a family isn't like top priority, biggest thing on your radar right now, because you got a lot going on. You're carrying around a lot of burdens and pressures, a lot of responsibilities, and you may look at like having a baby as like, oh, that's one more responsibility. That's one more burden to add to my pile of burdens. So that may be kind of where you're feeling right now as of the moment. And with the Two of Wands is about trying to make a decision, but because it's wands, wands are all about fire and passion and desire. So it's kind of like when you do make a decision, it needs to be a decision out of confidence. So you may be somebody right now who may actually be a little undecided if you do want to have kids or not. And that's okay. Like, you don't have to know the answer to this question, and you don't have to be decided on that in order to watch this reading. But I feel like whenever you do know, whenever you do decide, you will know and you will be confident in it. So it's kind of like once you get to that place, you're going to be 100% confident, cool, and okay with not having kids or deciding to have kids. And either way, like, you're not just going to be confident about it, but you'll have peace in it, and you'll know that you're making the right decision for you and the right decision for your path in life. And, that'll ultimately be the right decision for even everybody else who's involved around you. So I feel like when it comes to making these decisions, you're going to figure it out and you're going to be confident in it. And that your spirit baby understands that. Like, your spirit baby understands that this may not be the lifetime that it comes around, or if it does come around, it may wind up coming around through somebody else. The spirit baby may come to you as like somebody's somebody else's child. Like, you could have a brother or a sister, and maybe they'll wind up having your spirit baby, basically, and instead you'll wind up being the aunt or the uncle to your spirit baby. So it could come to you in a different way if you're not confident in making that choice to have that child in this lifetime. But that doesn't mean that you're going to decide not to. You could decide to be confident, to be just like, hey, you know what, I do think I want this, and that's totally cool too. But I feel like it's just a matter of being confident in making that decision. So I feel like this is something that, maybe you're kind of back and forth with, trying to figure out in your own mind right now. And, you just have a lot of thoughts and ideas right now about having children and having a family and that kind of thing. And that's what the Page of Swords is about. The Page of Swords is about thoughts and it's about ideas. But it's not thoughts and ideas that you're taking action on. They're not being expressed. They're not really being communicated, because that's what knights do. Pages don't do that. Pages just kind of like linger back and hold them back, and they're a bit more observant. They're more of a youthful kind of energy. So that's what the pages do. So I feel like you're thinking about all the different possibilities, and like I said, you're kind of just back and forth. You're like, do I, don't I don't know, like, what do I want to do? But I do feel like whatever you decide, it is going to be made out of confidence, and whatever you decide, your spirit baby is going to be okay with that. So even if it was something as big as, like, let's say you got pregnant and you decided you didn't want to have that baby and you aborted it or something, a lot of other people in the world may get pissed off at you for it, but I don't think your spirit baby's going to be pissed off at you for it. I think they're going to understand, because, maybe you decide to have an abortion, or maybe this has already happened, and maybe you decided to do it because you had a lot of burdens to carry, and you couldn't necessarily carry taking care of another life as well when they came along. And like I said, I feel like they understand. They really do. They understand, and they have your support and they have your forgiveness, and they want you to be encouraged and blessed and favored, and they're gonna come around in another way, shape, and form. So it's not something that you have to worry about if that's something that you've already experienced, or if that's something that comes up in the future. And then we also have the Seven of Pentacles here. And the Seven of Pentacles is you reap what you sow. So I think it's just important to remember, whatever it is that you put out there into the world is what you're going to get back. If you put out negativity and hatred and doubt and worry and sabotage and all these other kind of things, you're going to get that right back into your own life. But if you put out there positivity and hope and joy and love and peace and forgiveness towards other people, and just all the good things, you're going to get good things and blessings and favor and abundance and all that good stuff in return for you. So when it comes down to that, I do feel like, once again, you're going to make the right decisions with the Two of Wands here. You're going to make decisions based out of confidence when it comes to having a family, when it comes to your spirit babies. And that confidence will pay off, because that confidence is going to be basically the thing that you reap out of what you're sowing. So try not to worry about it too much. Try not to be too hard on yourself either, even if you don't really know what it is you want, even if you don't have it all figured out. That's okay. It's the school of life. A lot of us are still trying to navigate and figure this whole thing out. I sit here and I do readings for people all the time, and like, I don't have my own life figured out either. It's easier for me to help out you guys and help people outside of me, but my own life is like, dumpster fire sometimes. So don't be hard on yourself. It's totally okay. We also have some cards here from the Sacred Creators Oracle, and you guys got Unstick the Stuck, Creator Fire. What does your soul say? And Follow Through. And it's funny, we got like a lot of blue and green kind of energy going on here, like a lot of cool colors. So first of all, with Unstick the Stuck, I'm like, I can't even say it right. Unstick the Stuck. I feel like once again, this is kind of going back to those burdens. This is kind of going back to those stresses and anxieties with the 10 of Wands that first came out. That's where you're feeling stuck. That's where it needs to be unstuck, basically. So I feel like that's definitely those burdens coming through. It could be the burdens of just, like I said, life as a whole. Maybe you feel like you can't necessarily care for another life. Maybe this is something that's already happened where you made the decision and you were just like, oh, I can't do this. I can't care for another life. I'm going to abort this baby. Whatever it may be. But I do feel like that's kind of just like emphasizing that and the fact that you can't stay like that. You can't stay in that 10 of Wands carrying around burdens, not just for your spirit baby, but for yourself, for your own life, and for your own well-being. And I feel like your spirit baby wants you to know that. Like, your spirit baby doesn't want you to feel bad, doesn't want you to feel guilty, and your spirit baby wants you to thrive and have a good life, whether that means they come into your life or not. They want you to have a good life. They don't want you to be stuck. They don't want you to be burdened. They want you to release that. And if anything, they want you to do what sets your soul on fire, because we have Creator Fire. So they want you to do what sets your life on fire and create and go out there and be and do in your life. That's going to make a big difference too. And then you guys also have, what does your soul say? So, like I said, I feel like you guys are a little unsure on what it is that you do want. If you want to have a family full throttle or not, especially if maybe you already went through like a miscarriage or an abortion or something, and maybe you're just like, I don't know if I can do that again. I don't know if I can actually like go through with having a baby 100%. But then there's another part of you that's just like, yeah, but it might be different this time. I might be more ready this time, whatever it may be. Don't worry about needing to have it all figured out right now. And don't beat yourself up over the burdens and the choices of the past or anything. Be kind to yourself, love on yourself, and, I feel like, once again, your spirit baby loves you and wants you to be kind to yourself too. And I feel like they're asking you, what does your soul say? Because your soul is going to know the answer to this. The soul is going to know if you're going to be ready to be that parent, if you're going to be ready to release those burdens, if you're going to be ready to actually make that step forward, or if it's just better for you to not go there during this lifetime. Bottom line is, you're going to know better than anybody else. No one else can tell you what's wrong or what's right for your life. Nobody else can, it's kind of like, I know this isn't a twin flame reading, but, a lot of the times people will ask, like, is he my twin flame? Is he my twin flame? Well, you know what? I don't really like answering those questions during readings, because I don't feel like I have the authority to tell anybody else who their twin flame is or who isn't. I feel like that's a very personal and private matter, and I feel like that is a divine connection that's way beyond me to make that kind of judgment call on. So that's something that, only the people who are involved are truly going to know whether that person is or isn't their twin flame. And this is no different when it comes to like having kids and having a family. It's a very personal, very private, very divinely connected type of situation. So you're the only one who's truly going to know what's best for you. There's no right or wrong answer. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It's about what is right for you, not other people. So try and remember that, and, ask yourself what is good for you. Tap into your gut, tap into that intuition, because that's where those answers are. And then follow through, because you guys also have the follow through card. So when you do figure it out, when you do come to that place, which doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, take your time in figuring it out, because that's okay. But when you do figure it out, follow through. And I feel like the follow through is kind of similar here to the Seven of Pentacles. You reap what you sow. Whatever you put out there is what you wind up getting back. So follow through with whatever decision it is that you do make. Stand firm in your ground on that. If you decide after going through all this that you realize not having a family is best for you right now, follow through with that. That's okay. Your spirit baby will be okay. Your spirit baby will probably find another outlet to come into this world, and will probably connect with you in a different way or in a different lifetime. And if you do decide, hey, you know what, I do want to try this again, I do want to try, I think I can do this, then don't be afraid to do that either. And if other people think that you can't do it because of whatever mistakes may have happened last time, don't let that get you down, and don't let that bother you. Follow through with it and try again and do again. Prove them all wrong and do it better this time. So whatever choice is right for you, whatever you decide, when you do know, follow through on it. Stick to your guns on it. We also have some cards from the Ice Cream Oracle. And you guys have Pistachio, Emotional Healing, Independence, and Responsibility. So I definitely feel like your spirit baby is helping you emotionally heal. Like I said, especially if this is a situation that may have been connected to an abortion or a miscarriage or something like that, there's definitely emotional healing that needs to come into that, because that's going to be very draining and very overwhelming for anybody. Even if you try to put it off like you're okay, there's nothing wrong, everything's fine. It's not. It takes time. People are fooling themselves if they think that it doesn't. So there's definitely emotional healing in it. But, you're also learning independence through this, and you're learning responsibility. And, like the 10 of Wands, all those burdens suck, obviously. But I feel like a lot of those burdens are responsibilities, and you're learning a lot through your responsibilities, and through that independence and through your responsibilities, you're going to discover, if trying again, if having this spirit baby come manifest into your life completely as your own child is going to be right for you or not. You're going to figure it out. But I can see there's definitely kind of like this struggle here. And we have Lemon, Clean, Detoxify, Release. So I feel like there may be some guilt and some shame that you may be holding on to. Once again, if this has been tied to like a miscarriage or an abortion or something like that, there may be some guilt, there may be some shame. It's time to cleanse that. It's time to heal it. It's time to release it. It's time to detoxify. And I feel like your spirit baby is letting you know they're okay. Like, you can let them go. You can release this. You can heal this. They're not angry with you. They're not upset with you. They forgave you the moment it happened, that they're okay. And that, they still may come into this world. It just may not be through you. They will still probably connect with you one way, shape, or form or another, because they are always your spirit baby. But definitely, they want you to be okay. They want you to be healthy. They want you to be clean, detoxified, and in a good place for sure. And we have Vanilla, Status Quo, Tradition, and Simplicity. So for the time being, it might just be kind of good to kind of get back to the simple things in life. I'm not saying, follow the status quo or anything like that, but, maybe just kind of ground yourself into like your own traditions and your own values, and try and find like the simpler things in life that may kind of help move on in the process and figuring out your healing revolving around the situation. And also, figuring out what your next move is if there's going to be, children down the line or not. And we also have some divine time cards because I figured it might be helpful just to get a little bit of timing when it comes to this spirit baby situation. I know for a lot of people, at least like the past two piles, they were very much so about people who, really seem to want to have children. So, for them, I feel like this was really helpful for them to kind of get a little grasp on timing as to when their spirit babies may actually manifest into the physical form. I'm not sure how it's going to look for you guys because you guys kind of have a different route here in this particular group, but we'll still see what comes through. We have counting minutes adds to the digits patience. So I feel like this is basically saying be patient with yourself. Be patient with the healing process. Be patient with figuring out what it is that you want to do for yourself. Be patient in figuring out what the next chapter is and taking that next step and taking that next route. Don't get impatient with yourself or frustrated with yourself. Just kind of, go with the flow and take it easy. Don't worry about the time that may be passing by. We also have growth. Decades will come and go if you don't choose to grow. So this has definitely been an experience of growth for you, like major, huge growth that's been going on, which totally makes sense. And the thing is, if you kind of continue living in the cycle that you've been living in, nothing is going to change. You're going to see things the way that you currently do right now in this moment during this reading. You're going to continue to be in that 10 of Wands, burdens, lots of responsibilities kind of energy. But if you do the necessary healing, if you do the necessary detoxifying and cleansing and releasing and all that kind of stuff, you're going to step into that place of confidence and knowing what it is you want to do next. And you will see things change and you will see things grow. But, once again, the choice is up to you. And we also have 717 starseeds, light codes, ascended, awakened, ascended, could be ascended too, awakened love. So you could be seeing 717 a lot. When you see 717, it could be a message from your spirit baby that they're with you, that they're nearby. This card also implies that you might be a starseed, and with awakened love, you may be dealing with a twin flame kind of dynamic as well. And if you are, then, that's definitely going to impact what's happening with your spirit baby too, because a lot of the times, if we do have a spirit baby, it's generally with our person. It's generally with our divine counterpart, pretty much. So finally, you guys, I have a card here from Loving Words from Jesus because, in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. And you guys got the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name. He shall teach you all things. John 14:26. So I feel like this card is basically reminding you that even through all this that's going on here, that God is there with you, that, ultimately the divine, Jesus, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, is there to comfort you. You have comfort in something bigger than yourself, in something bigger than beyond the situation happening here. You have comfort, and He's there for you. And if you open up that door to Him, He will teach you and lead you and guide you and show you exactly what you need to do in terms of healing, in terms of moving on, in terms of making decisions, in terms of all of it. All you got to do is trust and make yourself open and available to it. So anyways, that's what I see going on for you guys dealing with your spirit baby situation. Hopefully this message made sense and resonated for you. If the message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But if it did make sense, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you, even if it's just with a simple small emoji. And please give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot too. Feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way, and also so you guys know when I'm going live, because every time I go live, you will get that little notification, ding, 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 that I am, and then you can hop on in and be a part of the discussion and join in and get a reading done, which is super cool and exciting as well. And also remember, I am available for private readings too, so if you're interested in one of those, hit me up for that as well. So I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful for you guys just stopping by here and hanging out with me for a little bit today. It definitely warms my heart and means the world to me. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Hi, Pile 4. If you chose the Orca Agate, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out messages from your spirit baby or spirit babies. So I just think this crystal is so freaking cool. Anyway, let's see what they want to say to you. Let's see what's going on. So we're gonna kick things off here with the Crystal Unicorn Tarot. And you guys got the Page of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like there's been a lot of frustration on your guys' end when it comes to like basically having a kid in general. So number one, I feel like with the Nine of Wands here, the Nine of Wands is basically the wounded warrior. It is somebody who has been through battle, they have been to war, they have been to hell and back. They've just been through a lot. They've been through a lot, they've seen a lot, they've experienced a lot. It's just been a lot. So I feel like this is kind of where you guys are at. You are just the wounded warrior. You're tired. You're just tired. You're done. You're over it. I'm almost kind of getting like fertility problem type of vibes here. I feel like maybe you're somebody who has maybe tried like over and over and over again to get pregnant. Like maybe you know that you do have a problem. Maybe you have PCOS. Maybe you have endometriosis. Maybe you have something else going on. But maybe there is some fertility issues here. And the reason why I say that is because you guys also have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is about options and making choices and decisions and sometimes illusions as well, because as you can see, this unicorn is peering out at all of these different cups, and every single cup has something different in it. There's all these different options, and this unicorn just can't decide. It can't choose which way to go. It can't choose which cup to take. And I feel like if you're someone who has maybe struggled with fertility problems, you may have been like bouncing from cup to cup to cup to cup to cup to cup, trying to figure out what option is right. You know, like what do you do? How do you go about this? Do you do in vitro? Do you get a surrogate? Do you adopt? Do you do this? Do you do that? Like, how do you do this? What do you do? What's going to be the right thing for you? So I feel like there's been a lot of that going on. And your spirit baby knows that. It's definitely aware of that. So I feel like that this has been a struggle. It's been a struggle to get to where you want to go in terms of having a kid. And I feel like basically your spirit baby is letting you know that the way to make this right decision on how to go about getting to where you want is through a simple cup of love. A simple offering of love, basically, because that's what the Page of Cups is about. The Page of Cups is a very simple offer in love. And it's genuine and it's authentic, and it almost has kind of like this innocent type of vibe to it. So, yeah, but I feel like you guys may have been trying, this option and that option and, all these other different cups over here when you really just needed one. You really just needed that one special right cup, that one special right option. And I feel like whatever that option is, it's been right under your nose the whole time, but because you've been wounded and exhausted and looking at all these different choices and options, you're kind of missing the obvious point here. And it could be just like right under your nose, whatever it is. Your spirit baby could be right under your nose in the simplest of ways, but it's kind of like you guys are, spinning in your wheels here, like going in all these different directions, completely missing the point. It's kind of like if you're driving somewhere and maybe wherever it is that you're meant to go, maybe it has a hidden driveway. That doesn't mean that it's not there, but you keep missing it and you keep driving up and down the same street over and over again trying to find the place, but you can't find it because it's a hidden driveway, but it's there. It's there. So this is like your hidden driveway, basically. So I feel like your spirit baby is letting you know that that option is there. It's available to you, that it can happen. I don't know exactly what that option is. It may look different for everybody, but it is there. And I feel like however this is going to happen, it's going to happen through give and take, because that's what the Six of Pentacles is about. It's about give and take. It's about giving and receiving. So yeah, whatever it is, however that looks to you, it could be an exchange of like an adoption. It could be an exchange of like a surrogacy kind of thing. It could even be like there simply needs to be more give and take between you and your person, for that matter, in order for this to like fully come through. But I feel like there's some give and take that definitely needs to happen here as well. Let's see what else you guys got. We have a few cards here from the Sacred Creators Oracle. And you guys have fill your cup with sacred giggles. I love that card, by the way. I think it's just so much fun. We all need to laugh more often. Fall in love with your own story. Get back to elemental. And one step ahead is all you need. Okay, you guys. So, first of all, I feel like you guys need to kind of take the stress and the pressure off of you, because you have been in this wounded warrior mentality where you're just tired. You're just done. You're just sick of all of it. And I feel like you guys need to find the fun again, which is why you have fill your cup with sacred giggles. So, find the fun again. Try not to take this whole, like trying to get pregnant thing so seriously. Try to just relax. Try to go with the flow. And I forget which pile it was. It may have been pile number 2, but it was one of them. I was telling them how, it took my mom 7 years to get pregnant with me. And the reason why, there was nothing wrong with her. She went to the doctor, she got tests done. They told her there was nothing wrong with her. There was no major fertility problems. She didn't have anything like PCOS or endometriosis or anything. But the reason it wasn't happening is because she was also working full time. She was also in school. She just had a lot of stress and a lot of pressure in her life. And my parents went on vacation, and that was when it happened. She got pregnant while she was on vacation because, simply put, she was relaxed. She was having herself a good time. Apparently there was wine involved. So, could be the same kind of thing with you guys. You guys need to relax. You guys need to laugh a little, let loose, have a little bit of fun. Try to let go of the wounded warrior mentality here. Don't worry about all the different options. Just kind of kick back, relax, have some fun, and laugh. And also, when I think of like the word giggle, I don't just think of like laughing and jokes and having fun and that kind of thing, but I literally think of like little kid giggles. And this makes me feel like your spirit baby like loves to laugh, that they love to laugh and they love to have fun, and they have just such a big huge sense of humor. So, I feel like your spirit baby is kind of saying, find the fun again and laugh a little bit more, because that's what they would do. And that's what they want to do when they come into your world and they come into your life, and they want to laugh with you. They want to have fun with you. And, they'd like to see you get started on that early, because it will actually help them come into your life. And also, fall in love with your own story. So once again, if you're someone who has been struggling with fertility, if you're someone who has had female kind of problems, it sucks and it's a challenge, but it's your story at the same time. You cannot have a testimony without a test. That's just the way it is. So if you want to have a testimony, if you want to have this uplifting, inspiring, encouraging story to share with other people, you kind of have to go through some of your own shit first in order to do that, in order to be of that kind of impact, in order to be of that kind of inspiration. And if this is resonating for you and if this is making sense for you, then, remember that there are a lot of other people who are in the same position as you, that you're not the only one who is struggling with fertility issues out there. And, if you do get through this and you do wind up finding that right option here, and you wind up having your spirit baby come into manifestation into your physical world, that's going to be your testimony, and that's going to be so inspiring to uplift others. So, don't be ashamed of your struggle. Don't be ashamed of the obstacles you've had to go through. If anything, let those obstacles empower you. Let them give you fire. Let them give you drive to push through and across that finish line and make your dreams come true. Because your story is amazing and beautiful, and it may be hard and it may be a struggle, but it is definitely going to influence somebody else out there for the better, and it's going to help change somebody else's life. So don't forget that. With get back to elemental, I'm literally thinking get back to elementary in some ways. Kind of maybe you've gone into overthinking land when it comes to this whole thing, and maybe you've spent a lot of time on Google and stuff, or WebMD, and looking at, these scientific studies and those scientific studies and this and that and the other thing, blah, 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 blah. But it may be too much. It may be overload. It may be the kind of stuff that's creating illusions here and too many options, making it impossible for you to actually make one decision here that is going to help you to get to where you need to go. So I feel like this is basically saying you need to simplify things, that things are way too overly complicated right now, and you need to get back to basics is what it comes down to. And then we also have one step ahead is all you need. So that's kind of reinforcing what we were talking about up here with all the many different options that you're looking at. You don't need all these options. You don't need 1,000,001 choices in order to make this click, in order to make this happen. You just need one. You just need the one thing that is going to click. You just need the one thing that's going to work. And voila, your spirit baby will be here, and it will be in complete physical existence. So that's all you need. It needs to be simplified. It needs to be less complicated. It needs to be back to basics. You just need that one thing. So, I feel like the more you're spreading yourself thin here in terms of options and all these different things that you're trying, it's not making you readily available for that one thing to really stick and to really work. We also have some cards here from the Ice Cream Oracle. And you guys have coffee, adrenaline, motivation, and activity. And I think it's very clear, it's very obvious that you guys are motivated and you guys have a lot of adrenaline in this situation, because I feel like you guys have already put in a lot of work and a lot of effort in manifesting and trying to manifest the spirit baby into your world, into reality. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so tired. You wouldn't be that wounded warrior, basically. So I feel like you guys have already put in a lot of energy into it. And I feel like even though you're tired and even though you're exhausted, I feel like you still have a lot of energy. I feel like you guys are just like running on nonstop coffee, basically, Red Bulls and all kinds of stuff. So, maybe you guys need to dial it back a little bit there in terms of the energetic caffeine. But I do feel like you guys definitely have the drive and motivation to figure this out, which is great. But stop applying it to so many things. Just put it into one thing, I think, for the time being. Cracking codes, learning and observing with banana walnut. So once again, I'm getting that kind of Googling, WebMD kind of vibe. I feel like you guys have definitely been learning a lot when it comes to like your bodies and your health and, money and raising kids and what it takes to do that and fertility and all that stuff. The good news is you guys are super prepared, and I feel like your spirit baby acknowledges that and sees that, and I feel like your spirit baby appreciates that. They appreciate the fact that you are so incredibly prepared. You may be a little bit too prepared, a little overly prepared, but they do appreciate that. And I feel like, because you're a very highly intellectual kind of person, I feel like your spirit baby as well is also going to be highly intellectual, that they're going to be very smart too. So I feel like that's something that's definitely going to be running in the blood there in terms of the smart genes. And we have pina colada, recreation, traveling, and amusement, which is so funny because I was literally just mentioning earlier, you guys, that, when my mom was struggling to get pregnant with me, she literally had to go on vacation to make it happen. Who knows? Maybe you need to do that too. But I do feel like this is kind of another reminder, you guys. Same thing with fill your cup with sacred giggles. You guys need to find the fun. Just kind of take a break from all this. Take a break, chill, relax, find some recreation, do something else that you love and you enjoy with your time. That doesn't mean that you're quitting on, manifesting your baby into fruition or anything like that. I still feel like it will wind up happening, but I feel like a break from trying to figure it out, a break from, day in and day out of the wounded warrior struggling to make choices is probably going to be a good thing. It's probably going to help you get to this point of, finding that one choice, that one option that's really going to pull through and work for you. But it's going to need a little bit of a break. It's amazing how refreshed and rejuvenated we can feel and be sometimes if we just take a step back from something for a little bit and then return to it later. So a little bit of a break may not necessarily be a bad thing for you guys. And we also have some Divine Time Oracle cards here for you because I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering just what's happening timing wise here. Like when is this going to happen? Especially if you are resonating with this and maybe you're someone who has struggled with this for a long time, you may be wondering like, hey, when is this going to click? When is this going to happen? So hopefully we'll get a little bit of insight with these cards. We have you're out of alignment. Your mission needs reassignment. So I feel like once again, this is kind of piggybacking on the whole, you guys need to take a vacation, have a little bit of recreation, have a little bit of fun, giggling, laughter, that kind of thing. It doesn't mean that your desire to have kids or having a spirit baby or anything like that is not your mission. It doesn't mean that, that's the problem. I feel like that is your mission, but I feel like you yourself are not aligned to have that mission come through into the physical just yet because you guys are kind of blocked up here with all these illusions and trying to make decisions, and you guys are super wounded and stuff from everything leading up into this. So once again, I feel like you guys need a little bit of a break to kind of try and correct this, and that when you have that break, when you have that time to just enjoy life a little bit, you will probably get realigned with where you really want to go and with what you really want to do when it comes to this. We also have depression, It's in the dark, you'll feel the heart. So I do feel like for some of you guys, especially on the fertility end of things here, that it's been a real struggle for you, and it's probably put you into a position where you've experienced some depression. And I feel like your spirit baby wants you to know that they don't want you to be depressed. They don't want you to be sad. They don't want you to be upset because you struggle. If anything, I feel like they basically are saying that because they know that you love them so much and you care about them so much, they can feel your heart when you're in those places, and they're there with you when you're in those places. So yeah. And I feel like, you yourself, when you're in these places, like, that's when you know what your heart really wants. Because if your heart didn't really want that, then it wouldn't matter, and you wouldn't even go to dark places like that. So, it can be a heavy duty thing for sure sometimes, but, try not to stay in this. I know it's tempting to stay there, and it can be really hard to snap out of that, but, I do feel like your spirit baby basically says that they can feel your heart, and that they don't want you to stay depressed, and they do want you to feel better and have hope, and remember that it can still happen and it can still work out. And you guys also have, this is your twin flame. Remember your story and why you came. So I feel like for most of you guys, this technically is not really about your spirit baby, but I do feel like you guys probably have a twin flame, and you're dealing with a twin flame. It could be you and your twin flame trying to, bring this spirit baby into the real and physical world. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is kind of just that reminder. And I don't remember which pile it was I mentioned it to earlier, but I know I mentioned it to one of the piles, some of the piles, somebody earlier, that, generally, when you do have a spirit baby, generally that is like the product and the creation of, like you and your divine counterpart pretty much. So this definitely makes sense, at least in terms of you trying to bring that spirit baby into the real world. And finally, you guys, I have a card here from Loving Words from Jesus, because in my opinion, a Bible verse a day helps keep the bad vibes away. And you guys got, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. Luke 11:28. So, basically, I feel like if you guys have felt that God has called you to be a parent, you will be one, bottom line. Because that would be hearing his word, and he will keep his word to you, is what it comes down to. It's a promise. And the other really cool thing about this card, and every pile that really dealt with indefinitely, like, having a child come into the world, every single one of those piles had a child in the card. And you guys have a child here, kind of like representing that spirit baby, that child that you may wind up having in the future, that may come into fruition, into the physical, into the 3D, which I think is super cool. So just remember that if it's in your heart, if God placed it in your heart, he didn't place it there for a reason. It's not there for torture. It's not there as like a carrot to be dangled in front of your nose or anything like that. He wants it just as much as you do, and he will keep his word, and this spirit baby will come into your life one way or another for sure. So hold on and have faith. Anyways, that's basically what I see going on for you guys dealing with your spirit baby, and hopefully this message made sense and resonated. If it did, please let me know and leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. And if the message did not flow, of course, just let it go. But otherwise, even if you just leave a simple small emoji, that definitely still goes a long way. And please give this video a big thumbs up, because that definitely helps me out a lot too. feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know of future videos when they are on the way. And also so you guys know when I'm going live, because whenever I go live, you guys will also get the little notification going on for that as well. A little ding, 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 you'll know I'm live, and you can hop on in and be a part of that and participate in that too. So anyways, yeah, and I'm also, like I said, I'm open and available for private readings too, so if you guys are interested in that, feel free to hit me up and contact me about one of those. And I am just so incredibly grateful and thankful that you guys decided to stop on by here and hang out with me for a little bit today. It definitely warms my heart and means the world to me. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Keep sparkling. I am sending you lots of hugs and much love.